Welcome to the third episode of Brass Unpacked. Today we're diving into the tale of the alleged son of a god from ancient Greek mythology, Phaéton. His divine heritage has been the subject of debate. In 1999, Swiss composer Eddy Debons set this epic story to music, crafting a series of movements inspired by Ovid's account in the Metamorphoses. Phaéton loved to boast. One day, in front of his friend Epiphus, son of Jupiter himself, he boldly declared he was the direct descendant of Apollo, the god of the sun. But Epiphus didn't buy it. He cast doubt on Phaéton's claim, and that doubt struck him right in his pride. Determined to prove his divine origins, Phaéton turned to his mother, Clymene, in search of the truth. And so our story begins. The scene opens with a baritone solo, Phaéton's voice, steeped in doubt and burning with questions. His mother, Clymene, her presence echoed in the depth of a resonant E-flat bass, reassures him, yes, he is indeed the son of the sun. And to remove any lingering doubt, she offers a piece of advice. Go and ask your father himself. Without hesitation, Phaéton sets out on his journey. His goal, to meet his father, the sun himself. The music shifts, the rhythm becomes ternary, and with every measure you can feel the momentum of his quest, that unstoppable drive toward the truth. Phaéton continues his quest, crossing through Ethiopia and then into the land of the Indians. This journey comes alive. The cornet's theme traces the outline of a mythological voyage, brimming with adventure and mystery. Then, carried by the heroic song of the trombones, Phaéton finally reaches the Palace of the Sun, a magnificent edifice, its majestic doors adorned with engravings in metal depicting the very fabric of the universe. The palace doors swing open, and the trumpet of Triton rings out. The sea god here, brought to life by the principal cornet, greets Phaéton in a brilliant fanfare. Phaéton, embodied by the warm voice of the euphonium, steps forward. Dazzled by such splendor, he finally dares to speak. Standing before the sun, he asks the question closest to his heart, the truth of his own origin. The sun recognizes him at once. With warmth and kindness, he welcomes Phaeton and, in a single word, sweeps away all the doubts that had plagued him. A dialogue unfolds between the son and his son. To seal this newfound bond, the god offers him a pledge. He will grant Phaeton any favor he desires, and to swear by his word, he calls upon the sacred waters of the Styx, the river that divides the realm of the living from that of the dead. Phaeton takes his father at his word. His request is bold, to drive the sun's chariot for a single day. Apollo freezes. He instantly regrets this reckless promise and tries to reason with his son, painting for him the dangers, the hardships, the trials that await high above. But Phaeton stands firm. He reminds his father of the vow he made. The music shifts in tone. The trombones and euphoniums return with the theme, now darker and more foreboding, while the cornet's sextuplets weave in the background like the restless murmur of anxious dreams haunting Apollo's mind. Reluctantly, and despite all his warnings, Apollo at last gives in. He places in Phaeton's hands the reins of the solar chariot, drawn by his 4 legendary horses. Already the beasts paw at the ground, neighing and snorting with impatience. The percussion beats like hooves striking the earth, ready to launch skyward. Suddenly the horses leap forward. The music shifts into a subito piumoso, a sudden burst of motion. 16th notes flash from one musician to the next, painting in sound the frantic race of the chariot hurtling at breathtaking speed. Very quickly, something is wrong. The horses sense the unfamiliar weight of their driver. They grow restless, unsettled, and unease spreads through the air. Panicked, Phaeton struggles in vain to regain control, to steer them back onto the proper path. The relentless dotted quarter notes, played by the repiano, pound out the tension, like beads of sweat falling one after another, crossed by the motif of the 2nd and 3rd cornets. Above it all, sharp musical bursts mirror the violent swerves of the chariot as the horses veer wildly off course. Just as his father had foretold, Phaeton's path crosses fearsome celestial creatures. Among them, the scorpion of the zodiac, whose sight chills him to the core. Panic takes hold. A great fugue sweeps through the orchestra, hurling the chariot into a completely uncontrollable race. The horses are now beyond control. They gallop in every direction, dragging the chariot into a frenzy without course or aim. The fugue surges back, driven by a play of beats and offbeats that hammers out the relentless advance of the solar chariot. Deprived of all control, the horses leave devastation in their wake. Entire cities ignite, mountains blaze with fire, whole lands are reduced to ashes. Rivers dry up and the seas begin to boil. Even Phaéton, despite the sacred ointment his father had given him for protection, can no longer endure the searing heat. Chaos reigns. The altos and trombones scream like the cries of a world in despair. The earth, half scorched, pleads with Jupiter to save what remains of the world. Her cry rings out in a sweeping cantabile theme, heavy with both anguish and solemnity. Yet, in the distance, the euphoniums and percussion still carry the frantic pounding of the horses, hurtling onward in their wild, unbridled flight. Then, with the consent of the other gods, and of Apollo himself, Jupiter intervenes. With a blinding bolt of lightning, he strikes Phaeton, shattering the solar chariot into fragments. His hair ablaze, the young daredevil falls, streaking across the sky like a shooting star before plunging into the waters of the river Eridanus. The piece closes as calm slowly returns. Yet in the silence that follows, one timeless lesson lingers. Pride and vanity will always lead to a fall.